Jano, this is my story. I met this white guy on a dating site, Afro Introduction. We were talking on that site for almost a week, and later exchanged our contact.
So for guys who don't know, Afro Introductions is somewhat like a matchmaking for people who are interested in African women. I know people who have personally found their wife from there, things like that. It's kind of really good. Kind of like Dominican Cupid or something like that.
That was the beginning of 2018. So we exchanged contact and we moved to the WhatsApp. Jano, this guy was good. He used to provide for me and pay my bills. He would also extend the help to my siblings. He would pay the school fees to my siblings and also provide for my parent. At that time, I was open to him and I told him everything about my family, our issues, my parent, and he would come through for me every other time.
Guys, honestly, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta really watch their situations when you deal with chicks overseas. Because you don't want to be the one providing for their families. It's not everybody, but of course, helping their siblings, paying school fees. That's not your problem. That's not your job. Okay, because quite likely while you're doing that, they have somebody else in town that's not doing any of that, and they're still getting the same cheeks you're getting, right? There's plenty of women across the world that don't need you to do that, and that's who you should be talking to. You shouldn't be talking to people that you gotta pay for their families, their siblings, their parents, all right? That's not your responsibility.
My parent loved him because he was providing and he was a good man. Jano, there is something that I saw as a red flag, but I assumed. This guy seemed to be very controlling and insecure. He would ask me to take a photo anytime I was going out and send them to confirm whether I was decently dressed. I would send them for them to confirm whether I was supposed to go that way or not. I felt it was controlling, but because I loved him and he was providing to me, I felt as if it was love.
You wanted some of that money. You got tired of being broke. And usually, let me just say this, guys. I know it's a lot of dudes like this. If you have a chick in which you feel that you need to do this with her, she's probably doing it anyway and you know it and you're trying to stop it. You're just insecure, okay? If you have to do this with a woman, she's doing it anyway. Whether she act like she's at home or whatever. That means you're dealing with the wrong lady if you need to do this.
At some time, he would call me late night at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m. to confirm that I was alone. He would ask me to zoom the phone and check the room.
Who has time for that? What a lame.
I felt as if that was too much love, something that I came to learn later. So after 6 months of talking, this guy confirmed that he was in love with me and he was serious about our relationship. He told me that he was set to come to Kenya in that December, and the main aim of coming was to meet my parent for introduction and pay for my dowry price.
Basically, after giving her all of that money and helping the family out, now you're about to pay another price for somebody that's probably is not worth it, okay?
That was okay with me because my parents knew about him. I had told them. So in December, true to it, he came. And this guy, when he came to my home. Everybody loved him. He helped even in renovating my parents' house and sorted a lot of things. So after that, he paid the dowry price and bought my parents gift. And
when a guy's coming there paying the dowry price and still sorting things for your family, which your family is broke, I mean, I just don't get this, man. Just get some OnlyFans and some Diddy lotion and just take care of yourself, man. I just can't do all that.
They were so much okay and happy. After that, we proceeded to the IG wedding because it was supposed to be the next week on Friday. So we continued with the IG wedding, which happened, and we got the certificate. We stayed with him in Kenya for another month, and then it was set now to go back and we start the process of getting a visa. In 2019, I got my visitor visa B2, and that is how I traveled to the United States. My man said that it was easier for me to go and apply for adjustment of status in the United States than applying for a green card from Kenya. It would take long, which I agreed because I knew nothing about it. I prepared myself. He paid for the ticket and that is how I went to the United States. When I got there, he was alone waiting for me at the airport. He picked me and he was so happy and excited to see me. He took me to his parent house, that is his mother and the siblings. From the first reception, I knew that these people didn't like me. The mother was not friendly to me, and he could show it from the very first time. We were cooked for, we ate, and we spent the night.
So first of all, the reason why the family most likely doesn't like you is because they feel like, I'm gonna be honest, he's white, they're also white, that could be another thing too. But we're gonna be honest, they probably look at you as somebody that's a user and you don't have very much to offer them. And let me just tell you this, like I live over in Africa. If I don't have nothing to offer anybody, they look at you like you are nothing. They could look at you like that. You know, it might not be so mean to you about it, but if you don't have anything to offer anybody, even here as an American, they look at you like, what are you doing here? What Africans don't understand is when they go to other places, and you might think because you're getting with somebody that's white, but then all of a sudden now they're looking at you as a person that can't contribute to their family's wealth or to their family's success. So why did we invest in our kid to be who he is to end up with someone in your financial situation? That could be also the case.
The following day, his mother called me and started questioning me about our background back in Africa, our financial status, the reason as to why I was willing to travel to United States for marriage, and everything was revolving around the visa and the financial support. I didn't worry much.
Boom. So the mom is asking tough questions. Why are y'all so broke? Why you don't have money? Okay, what does your family do? Just like your family wanted to know that about him. See, it works both ways. So now you're getting upset because they feel like you're poor. That's what they're trying to say. It would be the same case as if I was here and I'm trying to marry an African chick and I'm struggling. What does your family do? Why you guys don't have money, right? That's anybody who cares about their family would say that.
Because I was there for my husband and I knew my husband loved me. So I had informed my people back in the country that I reached safely, and that is how the communication ended. I didn't have a phone, and this guy never gave me a phone again to call my parent for reasons I don't know. After that day, we went to the house. We moved from the mother's house to our own house. The adjustment process was to start after the 3 months of visit.
So why is that he didn't even want to buy you a phone to call your own family? Why did you leave Africa without a phone at all?
The adjustment process was to start after the 3 months of visit. So we stayed with this man and I started seeing some red flag. He would keep on threatening me. If I don't cooperate, he would make sure I was deported. I didn't know for what reason, but I also started feeling fear. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a phone. I was not talking to anyone. I didn't have a friend. It was my first time there. We moved on. We stayed for the 3 months, and after the 3 months, we started the process of applying now for the adjustment of the status. This is where I started seeing the true color of this man. He would abuse me physically, sexually, and emotionally. He would always remind me of how poor our country was and how he has helped me, helped our parents, and how he has done me a favor to bring me to the United States.
There we go with some of those zaddies. That's how some of them can be. I've seen it. I live in Uganda. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but this is not uncommon. A lot of the women from the continent, they see these zaddies out there and they think the zaddies is going to be just giving money. And then when something bad happens, all of a sudden we're going to express to you how you're not this and you're not that. And it happens all the time. I had a black friends, African friends who were men, okay? And they lived in Poland with me and they used to always put down their women. I won't talk about the country right now, but they would disrespect their women on the behalf of the Polish women, okay? And so now they would say the women in their country, all they wanted was money, they sucked and all of this. Now then once they got with the Polish woman, whenever they would have an argument, that woman would express, you're here in Poland trying to get an education. You're trying to look, I won't marry you. You won't get a green card. You won't be able to stay here or something like that. You won't get a residency card. You better stop tripping. I'll call the police on you. You'll be deported back to your country. But see, this is what some people do. This is not everybody, but I have seen this case many times. This is how I got involved with the Nigerian Independence Day community and the Nigerian community and certain communities in the diaspora anyway, when I was there. Because of the disrespect that they were receiving from some of these people. But the country was not that one, but it was another one. I'll let you guess which one it was.
I kept quiet because I knew if I could get my green card, I would sort myself. After the 6 months now of the application, it was supposed to take 2 years or more slightly. This guy was too much and I would not take it anymore. That is when he called the police for me, accusing me of cheating and abusing him. Jano, for sure, he was determined to make sure that I was deported. I never wanted to fight back because I didn't have money, I didn't have an attorney to fight for me, and I knew even if I fought, maybe he could have killed me. I cooperated.
Whoa.
Now, she was accused of abusing the husband and cheating on the husband, and everybody is against her. The mother is supporting the accusations. She did not have anybody to fight for her. She did not have money to look for a lawyer. Now, and she was also fearing because this man could have killed her. This man is beating her. This man is raping her. This man is abusing her emotionally. So the only option that was there was for her to allow the deportation. She was deported and she came back to Kenya. The family was so much disappointed because she was the source of income to the family. She would pay school fees and every other provisions that they wanted. But again, life is more important than all other things that you think about.
So you hear that? This is not uncommon in Africa. I'm not saying every family is like this, but this is not uncommon. So basically, you get to another place with a white guy or a better situation and you're being abused. And I've talked about on my other channel how a lot of these ladies get abused in Dubai, right? You get abused in these places and your life is in danger, but you come back home and you come back home empty-handed. In the African American community, we most likely would say the way that we think, well, look, we glad you back home and safe. You know, if you can't help us anymore, I mean, it's unfortunate, but we understand. We just glad to have you back home and you're not dead. But in her case, she was getting beaten and her family was like, how are we gonna survive now? Like, you were the reason why, like, why did you come back? Like, now we're gonna be all suffering because you just didn't want to come back. Think about that.
So the message to you young girls from this lady is, don't assume that that man who is sending you money when you're in Africa is going to treat you the same when you go to their country.
Right.
This person does not want to see you empowered. When you start working, it is going to be a problem. When you start going to school, sometimes it is going to be a problem because they want you to depend on them so that they can be able to manipulate you fully. And if you start working, you're supposed to contribute 50-50. So if you think that what is happening in Africa is what is happening in the United States, my dear, be warned. You are going to go there, waste your time, or maybe something happens to you. Have open mind, you know, even when you get married to these people, your mind should be ready for different things. And that is all that I can tell you for now. But you have heard your story, you have heard the story. It's you to make your own decisions. You get married to these older people. When they go there, they turn you to their caregivers. You get married to this young one. When you go there, their family is against you. You get deported. Others will even kill you. You heard the story of this lady who got lost in the United States. Up to today, she has never been seen. Yeah, you can also get a good one who will take care of you. So anytime you meet them, stop having a lot of expectations and take your time to learn your partner. Not every Muzungu is like the other Muzungu you heard about. Not all Muzungu is like the Muzungu that you saw in the soap opera. They are different. Okay?
So guys, that's interesting. Again, there's a lot of white zaddy worshiping going on around the world, thinking that white men are better and all of that. And unfortunately, I've seen several instances where, you know, that's not the case. Again, typically nobody can elevate you and help you more than your own group or your own community. And a lot of people need to keep up with that instead of depending on somebody else to take care of you and your issues. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shay Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode here of Fair Use. I'm out.